Hey, Batman Ultra 7 here. Welcome to the new year. It's 2026 now, and we're ringing in the new year with another annual Q&A video. So I'm going to be answering questions asked by you, my dear viewers. So first, let's start with a question from my friend Joey G. Favorite 2025 movie and why? My answer for this will sound a little contradictory because you're asking for like one movie, but I was kind of stuck between like two movies specifically, Sinners and Hedda. They're both like phenomenal movies, and technically, if we had to like pick one movie, Sinners is at the top. I watched it in theaters. I had an extremely emotional experience. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Coogler, so this felt like it felt huge to see him like stepping out like this. And this is his first like completely original screenplay. And I think he really pulled out all the stops for what is really a special movie. And as he said in like interviews, a lot of what Sinners came from like books from Chadwick Boseman's library. So that's really special to me. I even got one of those books, Blues People, for Christmas. So I'm really excited to dive into that. And hopefully I'll use that to make a video about Sinners. I don't know. It's a really special movie that has a lot to say about, race in America and all of the dynamics within that. But also just the power of music and storytelling. I think a big theme, believe it or not, there was a big theme in film was storytelling. But really, there were a lot of movies about storytelling and the power of storytelling. You can even see that in like Wake Up Dead Man. The new Benoit Blanc mystery. So I think it's been a really special year. And then talking about like Hedda, I think Hedda is a really underrated film of the year. It's from Nia DaCosta, who is, I'd say, one of the finest of her generation. She did the Candyman movie in 2018, which actually I rewatched this year. What a movie. But I rewatched it after I watched Hedda, which I was really excited for in the lead up. I think it got a limited theatrical release, but I wish it got more, because this is a really special movie. So I'm not gonna like give a lot of details about it, because I might very well do a video about it at some point. But I think what DaCosta really shows in this movie is her like complete total mastery of suspense, and also that she has a really firm grasp on characters as like human beings. Like, she's able to have these characters do these awful things, but still have them feel like real and like kind of people we can almost empathize with and understand. And also, I think you can really tell that she's like a actor's director. Obviously, like, she's showing off all the time with like a lot of really cool visual technique. But I think her like strongest quality as a director is like bringing out these performances, and really the casting for this movie is incredible. Yeah, incredible movie. You should watch it. I'm not gonna say too much, but please watch Hedda. I've been telling everybody I know to watch Hedda, so watch Hedda. It's a great movie. It's on Amazon Instant Video. Really good. Okay, second question. Do you have a favorite project from this year, Could be a short film, comic script, or anything. What's your favorite thing you've done this year? Is from my friend Jalen, who's a really brilliant artist. This is tough. I mean, I made a lot of things in 2025. I mean, I wrote a lot of really fun stuff for Sagittarius. I've been doing a lot of planning for the arcs for like Magnifica. I think the next issue of Prodigy, which will have the next Sagittarius story, I think that's really fun. I think that's my like most ambitious visually writing a comic script. I mean, really my motivation with like writing a comic script anytime is like, how can I make this the most exciting thing for the artist to draw, while still, telling the story. And I love dialogue. I do love dialogue. I mean, I come from the school of Kevin Smith, but I think the more I write comics, that's like kind of my motivation. Besides that, if we're talking about like YouTube, I really enjoyed writing the Star Wars Visions Volume 2 script. That was definitely like a venting video, kind of trying to take all of the negative feelings I'm having about the world right now and trying to build that into something that could be positive and something that could almost like that could accomplish conversations at least. I don't know if that's what it's going to do, but that's the intention. Besides that, I wrote a good deal of poetry last year that I really enjoyed. I want to get back to doing more prose. I haven't done it in a while. But besides that, I wrote a cool short screenplay about a knight, a knight in the Crusades, basically, who was abused by his Catholic father, and then comes to the realization after being in the service for years, that his like infantry was, killing innocents. I don't know, that era of history is something I'm very passionate about. So who knows? I might do something in that kind of way, long form. I don't know. I love knights, but I also love I love the conflict between religion and, the kind of warness of a lot of religious history. It's interesting to me. I don't know. But yeah, I think those are like my proudest achievements. I also really enjoyed all of the short films I did last year. I mean, getting to write Superman and seeing someone perform that and working with that actor was really special for me. I mean, doing that short film was kind of me kind of dealing with my feelings with Superman as a character, and what I feel like is lacking in adaptations in portraying, this, immigrant who has this like dual perspective, this a double soul, so to speak, which I think is a very important part of portraying that character, and immigrants in general. I think it's kind of inherent. Okay, going on to the next question. Will you be doing anything more with your uploaded short films, whether adding to the existing ones or new ones, or either on the channel or elsewhere? This is from my friend Tyrannopus. Very, very good dude. Let's see. I've definitely talked to my friend Luke Domina about doing another Superman short film at some point. But it would have to be something that like I have something palpable to say. Because really the only reason I did that Superman short film, besides the fact that it was for an assignment, which, you know, that was the fun part, is trying to figure out how that fits, is I had something specific to say, and I had something to, you know, kind of battle with a little bit on a thematic level. So if I were to do another Superman, I'd have to, it would have to be something I feel palpably. I am planning on doing more short films. I have a horror short that I've been wanting to make for a while now, about kind of being stuck. It's very slasher. It's very I think there's some Lynchian aspects to it. I wouldn't oversell it because I'm not David Lynch, and I will never be David Lynch. But there's definitely some inspiration there. I also have a couple other short films in the back of my head. I have one about golf, which is also about politics. Weirdly, it's something I need to flesh out, but it's something that I'm feeling good about. I also have a Robin Hood reinterpretation. It's what I'll say is it's very focused on Friar Tuck. I won't say anything more than that because it could be made sooner rather than later. Okay, let's go to the next one. Will you ever make any more of those longer interview style podcast episodes? This is Tyrannosaurus again. I've definitely been thinking about it. I have one guy that I have been talking to that I want to do podcasts with. I really love coffee table conversations. It's just there's a lot of preparation involved. And I don't know. I got so swamped last year that I felt like I couldn't be bothered. But it is definitely a lower effort thing than video essays. Because I'm not like scripting anything. But it's definitely something I want to do more. I think since I have this new mic, I definitely want to test it out more. Because I'm really glad that that's gonna like kind of upscale the videos. I'm also shooting on an actual Canon camera now. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I definitely want to do that more in 2026. If you guys have anybody you want me to interview, put it in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that in the new year. Even some stuff related to Prodigy, maybe. Okay. This is one more from Tyrannosaurus. Will your comic stuff be mentioned more on the channel, or is that relegated for elsewhere? And good luck getting through all those planned scripts. Can't wait to see them come to fruition. Yeah, I definitely want to mention the comic stuff more on here. I think it's only a matter of like threading it into the video essays. Like I mention it a little bit in the It's a Wonderful Life video that I'm working on, which should be latest is like end of January. But I do have like a comic heavy video that's coming out. I'm not gonna say coming out, but I want it to come out in April, which has me getting into talking about how since I started making comics, it's harder for me to read comics, because I'm so hypercritical, and not in a not in a negative way towards like writers and artists, but now that I write comics, I think more about how I would write comics as opposed to the people who are writing comics. It's an endless hole. It's an endless abyss of disappointment. But yes, I am definitely planning on talking more about Prodigy, especially as we're moving towards doing volume 2 or issue 2 or whatever. Yeah. And also, yeah, thank you for the luck on the mini scripts that I have in development. Only Tyrannopus knows what he's talking about. But I have a billion projects that I need to get done. Hopefully we'll have all of them done by next New Year's, but we'll see. Next question. What's your favorite comic fan film? This is from Ecto. That's tough. And it was said in the question that it could be mine. I have a tough history with fan films. Obviously there was the whole Spider-Man Lotus debacle, which sadly I was a fan of that whole crew before everything went down. I even met some like really good friends in the Discord server for that. So that was a whole really disappointing situation, on many levels. I really love Spider-Man Every Hour, which hasn't been like fully released. But Jeremy is a fantastic like artist, actor, director. I also really like everything that like Derek Woods is doing with the Transformers stop motion project. I think those are like what comes straight to mind. I in fact have been working on a Batman fan film for some time, which is how I met Zane, the co-creator of Prodigy. Well, it's not how I met Zane, but it was like the first big project that we worked together on. It's a big passion project. It's Batman in the Golden Age suit, the introduction of Robin, Mr. Freeze, the Penguin. It's a story about it's a story about trauma, overcoming trauma, but it's also about the importance of the women figures that we have in our lives. You have Leslie Tompkins, you have my dog is being weird right now. You have Leslie Tompkins, you have Martha Wayne, you have Nora, and making these characters feel real, and also emphasizing the importance of these female figures in their lives, which I think is not something that Batman comics normally do. Batman comics or films, look at the Nolan trilogy. Martha Wayne does not have a character. I think she has one line in that movie, which is like when they're getting out of the theater, which I think is weird. I think it's weird that they overemphasize, the big patriarch or whatever. I think there should be more. So that's something I'm pretty proud of what we've created so far. It's an ongoing project, but it's something that I've really enjoyed working on. Okay, going on to the next one. Another one from Ecto. If we were ever to work together on a film project, what would you want it to be? I have thought about this, and I've thought hard. I have an outline for a reimagining of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's called The Voices of the Sea. I think it's pretty cool. It's a story I'm really passionate about. It would be heavy emphasis on horror, but also, it really came from me watching the original movie. And while the original movie is awesome, it's I think it's one of the best Universal monster movies. Probably only behind like Invisible Man. But there's some clear like racism in the depictions of these characters from the Amazon in the movie. And it was like especially striking because like you only get this creature from the vantage point of this creature, resides in the Amazon. So I thought, what if we told this story from the perspective of, of someone native to the Amazon or indigenous to the Amazon? So, you change Kay's character into a, mixed indigenous person to the Amazon. So yeah, that's what I would want to work on with you, because I think it would be really interesting to see what you add to that. And I love collaboration so much. I love to work with something on work on something with you. I want to do more film stuff. I've gotten sucked in to all this comic stuff. It's all because of Chris. Yeah. Let's see. Any Prodigy related videos planned for the new year? This is from Steven, aka Reluctant Scribe. Yes. Moving on. Just kidding. Yeah. I have a lot planned. It won't just be stuff leading into Volume 2, but that will be part of it. I've definitely been putting a lot of thought into how to move forward, and expand, Prodigy, through the small voice I have on this channel. But yeah, more to come. So the next one is, what video did you make this year that gave you the greatest learning experience? How much do you feel you've grown as a creator? That's an interesting one. This is from Megan. Probably the best film buff around. I think obviously Star Wars Visions Volume 2 video was a massive learning experience because that video took 9 months. I still managed to get it out before the new year, which I'm proud of that. But it kind of like, killed my video productivity for 9 months. Just about. Yeah. I mean that just taught me perseverance. But it also taught me, just little things. I mean, that you need to make your audio good. You need to get good. But also, it was kind of a video of me stepping out. And I'm not saying this to make me, like, sound brave or anything. Because it's not brave to say basic good things, but it was a video of me stepping out more as a creator and being like, this is what I believe, this is how it connects to this piece of media, deal with it, which I think is something that I feel like I've shied away from it a little bit. I mean, obviously in some videos not. But it was just kind of it was a point where I felt like, not that I have the mass a massive subscriber base or anything, but I felt like a greater responsibility to talk about the things in the world that I care about. And believe it or not, that doesn't just entail comic books and movies. It entails, I don't want to say stuff that actually matters, but it's stuff that actually matters. I love art, and I love, the ability of art to do good things in the world. But, art can only do so much. It can empower us to do good things, but without tangible, first talking about it and also doing things, the art means nothing if there's no action behind it. So that video is kind of like pushing my guilt out the door. Which obviously, like, I'm not gonna have a massive impact, but that was me kind of trying to stop being a coward. But yeah, that taught me a lot. And then, like, on a much smaller scale, I'm really proud of the Star Wars The Marvel Method video. One of my friends, Neon King Kong, like, after watching it was like, the audio in this video is crisp. And this is before I got this, so it's gonna be even better. But that, like, hit me in a specific way because I've always felt, like, really insecure about my audio skills. Because I don't know anything. I'm trying to do better. And I'm sure, people will make comments on my videos ad infinitum about how awful my audio treatment skills are. And feel free, it's if I'm doing it wrong, I'm doing it wrong. But that definitely felt like I was moving in the right direction. And I think now that I have this and I'm learning more about how this all works, videos are just going to keep getting better and better. And also I just wrote a lot of scripts that I'm really proud of this past year. Obviously It's a Wonderful Life video, which should be coming out by the end of January, I hope. Which I think is a really special piece of writing for me. But yeah, I wrote a lot of stuff I'm really proud of, which will hopefully see the light of day soon. Yeah, thank you for that. Next one. What's something you've wanted to talk about / do a video on but haven't yet? There was something that hit me earlier today, and I don't know if it has any place on this channel, but it's something I want to talk about. So I'm gonna somehow, some way, I'm gonna find a feasible way to make a video about this and it not bomb. But I really want to talk about, food stamps and welfare in this country. How I'm gonna talk about that through media, I don't know. But I mean, one thing is, at the beginning of this month, not to get political, at the beginning of this month, Trump basically made food stamps even more stringent, even more strict, which is, throwing a lot of people for a loop. In what they can pay for and what they can't pay for. So yeah, that is really awful, and it's something I really want to explore the history of, and kind of throw the kind of bring us the tangibility of it, because I don't think it's something that's talked about enough. And just kind of give you the facts, but also show you the real people that, it's affecting. I don't know how to make it a video yet, but that's something I'd want to do, because it's a subject I'm really passionate about. Especially living in Louisville. I feel like that's a very real thing. Let's see. Okay, next we got like 3 questions in a row. From one person, Blue Knight Beyond. Let's see. First, best Brave and the Bold episode and worst. It's hard to say worst because like I feel like I love every episode of Batman Brave and the Bold. But best, I'm not gonna say Chill of the Night, you fools. I'm not gonna say it. Let's see. I really love all of the stuff with Sorrow. I think that's one of the greatest like long form, storylines in television. I do also really love the like conclusion. I love all the stuff with like Equinox. Not to say that my favorite thing about Brave and the Bold was like long form storylines. But there's so much. And also, the 2 episodes that I talked about in my Brave and the Bold video like months ago. There's so much. And also like the finale was, the first piece of television to make me cry, so that holds a special place. And it's also just such a brilliant, intelligent piece of television, directed at kids. Worst episode. This is not serious whatsoever, but not directed at like the piece of television itself, but the fact that everybody on the planet needs to use Chill of the Night as the example of look guys, the show was good once because it was serious, it was for big boys. Like I love the episode. Paul Dini's great. It's a brilliant retelling of one of the best Batman stories. But I strongly dislike ever bringing up that episode because of all of the people that cling on to the episode as the one saving grace of a too campy show. So that's what I'll put for worst, because it really pisses me off. Best comic book of 2025. That's really tough. It's tough to not say something like by like Dennis Camp, who's really good. I have been really liking The Power Fantasy by Kieran Gillen. I really love Barda. Let's see. Which I got for Christmas. Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko. That's what I'll say for my favorite of 2026. I mean 2025. Dispatch, Blonde Blazer or Invisagirl. I'm gonna be honest, I've only played like 1 episode of Dispatch. I did not get into that discourse at all. I have no opinion. Well, so those are the questions. Feel free to yell at me if anything, made you mad. Give me all the comments. And also just look forward to the rest of 2026. Because I think I got some really exciting videos for y'all. And I think it's going to be a really good year. So in summary, please take care of yourselves. Look around you. Take care of your own. And even the people you don't think are your own. And you have a very happy New Year.